Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast, episode 372. I'm your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Mongoo Jerry. What's up, Mongoo?
How are you doing? How are you doing today?
First ever Real Whovians cast for you.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. This is where I've been waiting to let out everything I have to let out. At least I can let it out with a group of people who are
Right.
as freaks as me, I guess, when it comes to Doctor Who. So this
I
should be
always get
perfect.
to everybody. It takes a little time sometimes, but I get you in there. So,
Yeah, yes.
Daniel, what's up, Daniel?
Yes. Hi, Joe. It's great
What's
to be
up?
back. It's really
All
great
right.
to be back.
What's up, Tim?
What's up?
Okay, so now you got the floor, Mongoo Jerry. We're going to ask you some questions because we want to know all about your Whovian experience. So,
Okay.
I'm going to have Daniel ask the questions first.
Oh no, here we go.
Yeah, I put him on the spot there.
Catch me out
Go ahead,
now. Oh God. Okay, okay.
Go ahead,
I'm
Daniel.
ready.
Ask him a
Yeah.
question.
What was your first entry into Doctor Who?
Oh my God, my first entry into Doctor Who. Well, because I used to live in the UK when I was a kid, because it was on BBC One, and it used to be on. I think it was 7:30, and all I used to remember was Davros, the old Davros, and Tom Baker. That's all I used to remember as a kid, because my mum used to have it on in the background. I used to be like, "Who's this ugly creature going around?" Do you know? But I found it fascinating that the inside of a Dalek was just this creature. I found that really fascinating. I did
Right.
when I was younger. To answer
Second question, Daniel.
that. Okay.
Who was your first Doctor?
Oh, my first doctor's Tom Baker. He was my doctor. But I have to say, David Tennant did it for me. Like out of the
Same
new.
thing with me. Same thing
Yeah,
with me.
yeah. David Tennant really did it for me because he had that humor, that love, that respect. The guy you always looked up to, and then. But I guess at the same time, Matt Smith, to be fair, he pulled it off too. So I'm stuck between,
Right.
I'm still confused, I guess, because of what's happened recently with the regeneration. Yeah.
Well, you don't really have to pick one. They're all good, aren't they? I mean, all doctors are really good.
Yeah, I guess they're all good in their own way. They bring something new to the table that you go, wow, we've never seen that before. And then you go, oh, I really like him. And then someone does something else where you can't. I guess the thing with Matt Smith that will always stay probably in all Whovians' hearts is the whole Amelia Pond loving, fish fingers and custard. That's not going to go away.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Tim, why don't you ask him some questions?
Yeah, ask me anything.
No, I was. I don't know. I don't have a favorite doctor. I love them all. So that's what I was going to say. Do you have a favorite or?
I wouldn't say no. I respect all of them. Like I respect all of them. Obviously,
that's where I'm coming from.
yeah. Like obviously, I wasn't old and like I was probably not even born when the first Doctor was around. But at least I get to look back on the old footage. Yeah, like because of Netflix and things like that, you're able to catch up with all the old episodes. So I've done a lot of that. To be fair, like I went back and watched the first Doctor. And I watched even the beginning ones when they found out he was like this guy who had the time travel machine, and they walked in, and what was her name? Barbara, was it? When they walked in, and they were like, "What's this?" Yeah, it's fascinating.
And he wasn't exactly the doctor yet. I mean, he had to cook for a little bit for about a half season before he actually became the doctor, because he was actually not that cool for a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it was. I mean,
he's just kind of like you had to kind of get to know who is this guy. What does he do? Can he travel?
Right.
No one knew what he was, and then the whole idea. I think what messed with everyone's heads was the fact that his granddaughter stayed behind eventually. Do you know that kind of idea? And I guess till this day we don't actually know what the hell happened to her. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, could they
Makes sense.
bring her back? Could they bring her back?
I hope so. I would think so eventually.
Or
What is your favorite story?
My favorite story? the one that stood out for me.
An episode that you can watch over and over and over again.
Oh, I have one episode that really freaks my girlfriend out, so we have to keep watching it. It's Christopher Eccleston's episode with when they wear the gas mask and he goes, "Are you my mummy?"
Right.
That episode, it freaks her out, so we'll just sit there and keep watching it. She hates gas masks, so classic. I thought that was a really good episode.
The empty child and the doctor dances. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know? Can I be honest with you guys? I'm not gonna lie. Do you know when the new Doctor Who series started, like with Christopher Eccleston? I'm not gonna lie. I actually didn't buy it. I couldn't watch it because Tom Baker was the guy for me. But you wouldn't believe this. I'm not lying when I say this. Only last year, I sat down and I watched 9, 10, 11, and I caught up. And when I caught up, you guys would have been at the Name of the Doctor, and I actually caught up with all the episodes, and I just caught up then. And I tell you what, it was the best thing I ever did, was getting back into Doctor Who.
Yeah. Now, were you a regular viewer of ours? Did you watch us from the beginning?
I subscribed to you, but I watched. See, I would type in Doctor Who. There's a guy, I don't know if you're aware of him, called King Scribe, and it kind of led to you guys. It was like Whovian, yeah.
That is one of the two that got me into YouTube videos.
Everybody comes to Doctor Who in their own way. So I mean, it's true that most of us that are older, we came to it whenever we came to it, especially if we're American, we came to it at a different time than a lot of other. But you're a young man, so I mean, you came to it when it was already happening. You had some knowledge of the old Doctor Who, so. So that's why you ignore the new series, I guess, for a little bit. But I mean, it's all one show. It really is.
I think what it was when I saw, Davros in the new ones, I was like, oh, you ruined Davros, because I actually found the old Davros scarier. I remember as a kid going to bed and going, oh, Davros is going to get me in my sleep, that kind of thing. Whereas when I watch this Davros, I think kids don't buy it. They're like, yeah, he's dressed up. I think if Davros does come back in the new ones, which there are hints that obviously with the trailer he could be coming, they've got to make him darker, make him more scarier. So I think that's the case. But UK Gold used to show a continuous of Sylvester McCoy's episodes and, everyone's episodes. So that's where I got to catch up as well, kind of like that as well. But to be fair, it was the #1 thing going back in the day, because my mum used to tell me, like, we only used to have 4 channels, and you had BBC One, BBC Two, TV3, and Channel 4, and everyone would go to BBC for Doctor Who on a Friday evening.
Right. Awesome. I used to watch it on Saturday night with my dad when I was little on the New Jersey Network, Channel 58 on UHF.
What Doctor was that at the time?
At the time I started with Pyramids of Mars.
Oh yeah, I actually watched.
But then there was other ones that just flipped around different. While they were showing Tom Baker, I think Channel 21 WLIW was showing. I think other doctors, like they had at one point in time, I got caught up with John Pertwee. I got caught up with Patrick Troughton, and they had 3 different channels on UHF showing 3 different doctors. So interesting.
Did you find the transition between John Petrie to Tom Baker? A lot
my
easier?
first regeneration was Tom Baker to Peter Davison, and I got to say that not really being familiar too much with regeneration at all, I was actually, it was kind of an upsetting thing for me to see that, because I didn't know about regeneration, and I was a kid and I was pretty upset, man. I was really upset.
Where's he gone? Yeah, where's he gone?
I was actually very angry that I did not like Peter Davison at all when he first started. I was pretty pissed off.
Oh, don't worry.
He grew on me. No, he grew on me really quickly.
That's like me now, though. I'm still a kid. I cry all the time.
He grew on me. Yeah,
That's
it took
the
that whole
situation
episode
trying
for me.
to address nowadays with the switch from Smith to Capaldi, right? I mean, that's what they're trying to do. Is like, hey, this is troubling for some people, for some
Yeah.
kids, so they're gonna have to like
Yes.
make
Now,
it cool somehow.
when I was used to Peter Davison, and then all of a sudden Colin Baker came into the picture, I hated, pure hatred, like when he just came on the scene, because I didn't like the way he talked, I didn't like the way he looked.
He's
I
very
didn't like his
arrogant,
attitude.
swagger.
I didn't like that he choked his companion, and that just stood with me his whole tenure, that he choked his companion out.
Isn't that the time in the rainy he arrived in, wasn't
I
it?
just couldn't get past that he choked his companion. And it was always, but then some of my favorite Doctor Who episodes were Colin Baker. So it's kind of like a paradox, especially Trial of the Time Lord with the Value.
Yeah.
You know, there's also the two Doctors, and there's like a Cyberman. There's quite a few that I really like with Colin Baker. So I'm kind of torn with that. But when Sylvester McCoy came into the picture, at first I thought, I wasn't mad. There was no hatred. There was no anger. But I was just like puzzled when I saw him. But then, as soon as he started talking with a speech,
certain way,
to the Ronnie, I was like, oh, he's mine. I love him as a Doctor, and he became one of my favorites. Like really, really one of my favorites.
One of your favorites.
The fact that he was this little guy with the umbrella, and everybody didn't think anything of him, and he just basically took everybody out. When he regenerated into Paul McGann, I liked Paul McGann a lot as a Doctor, but we never really got to see him as anything.
I think it's a shame. You know, with Sylvester McCoy, do you know what was a shame? Obviously, he was going to be in at the beginning because he had to do the regeneration. It's a shame we didn't get a bit more. Do you know, like, of maybe Sylvester McCoy? It was sad that he ended up getting electrocuted, and then the next thing, Paul McGann's sitting up in this thing, you know.
Well, technically, he was going to be like the longest Doctor in that incarnation, technically, until
that's because of the novel.
Right.
I mean, there were like at least 100 novels.
I think it was all the Doctors. Yeah, I had a hard time with when they did the John Hurt thing, because I was kind of torn, because I loved him as an actor. I saw tons of movies with him. So I was a fan of John Hurt, but I wasn't a fan of them doing that whole Doctor in between thing. I was pissed, actually, pretty pissed.
So
but I really liked the episode, and I accepted it.
Really? I actually
as the War Doctor.
If I can say something, I think I actually. Do you want the truth? I actually probably, unless I just didn't pay attention, I've never really paid attention to John Hurt in a film. So when I saw him, I was like, wow, you are a Doctor. Like, who are you? You know? I was kind of like, you're Valiard.
Didn't you see the minisode? But didn't you see the minisode?
Which one?
Night of the Doctor.
Oh, with Paul McGann when he was in the and then he regenerated. Yeah, no, but do you know the way? Because in the name of the Doctor, he turns round, doesn't he? And he goes, "Well, I did without choice." Do you remember when he turns around? I was like, "Who are you?" I was like, "Oh no!" And then I started because obviously I don't like to know what's gonna happen, so I pretend to my girlfriend, he's the new Doctor, you know. So my girlfriend's like, "Oh no, John Hurt's staying forever," and it's like this old man is staying forever, and I'm like, "Yeah." So she really thinks that he's gonna stay. So I'm good at convincing her that no, it's not gonna happen. You know, like when Smith.
He was seeing the one that the one that's past he didn't want to know. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
So really.
That's what I mean. Because when you saw John Hurt turn around, obviously if you knew he was in the 50th, that was a different story. But at that point, if you didn't know he was in the 50th, you just thought, who is this guy? Is he the Valiard?
Right.
Who is he? Do you know what I'm saying? It was this suspense, and then the next thing you know he's in the 50th, then you're thinking to yourself, he's a Doctor, he's someone who...
Now, a few more questions. Who is your favorite villain? Who is your favorite villain that you want to appear that hasn't in New Who? So 2 questions. Who's your favorite villain?
That's a good. Someone that actually hasn't appeared yet.
From the classic series.
No, he's caught me out.
Not too many.
Zarby. To be fair, I like this. What about this Omega? I've heard that being mentioned a few times. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna come. That's gonna come sooner or later when they eventually find Gallifrey, if it's in 10 years' time. But when they eventually, I reckon that could come to light. I think I'd like to see. I know we've already seen it, but I would like to see the Master come back. I think that could work. Because if you imagine, if you have Peter Capaldi who's dark now, and you have a Master who's dark, who wins? You know, it could really go places this time, not like before.
It's going to be a different dynamic, I guess, this year, if he does come back. Yeah.
Why are you smiling? You know something.
Well, I think at this point, I don't think the Master
Daniel.
comes back this season. Probably next year.
I know, by the way, because I've been watching all your videos, I haven't been, I didn't read the spoilers. I have no interest in it. But whoever did, because the reason why I wanted to say this is because I heard some people got a lot of stick and things like that on here. So I just want to say,
what? Oh yeah.
A lot of people got a lot of stick on here. Yeah, they were getting grief or something because they'd watched it. And people were, so just to say that out loud now, anyways, that people shouldn't hate on people just because they wanted to go and find out what was going to happen. That's their business and that's their right.
No, at the end of the day, it's not a right or wrong issue. If you decide to indulge in spoilers, that's your business. You decide to withhold from spoilers, that's your business. We're all equal. We're all cool.
Right.
Exactly.
So
that's it. But I don't have a clue. I've only been going off the trailers. That's what I've been watching. It's just.
What did you think of the Weeping Angels?
Oh, I did like.
I like the Weeping Angels.
I like the Weeping Angels. I don't think they'll ever come back. I think Moffat kind of buried them. To be fair, in the time of the Doctor.
They'll be back.
Do you think so? Yeah. That do you know? I tell you. Will I actually tell you something? If the Weeping Angels come back, it would be a moment not to forget. Only because it will bring back memories of Matt Smith, his era kind of thing. It'd be like the Weeping Angels.
I think Moffat's whole thing is that if I have a reason to bring something back, I'll bring it back. And yeah, I know on Christmas he was just trying to throw anything at the wall, see what would stick. But if he has a good story for them, like Blink was, or like Time of the Angels or whatever, then. But if not, then he'll leave him in the cupboard until it's time to bring him back.
Like if there's no appropriate reason to bring him in, he won't bring him in for the sake of it.
I would have to say, without knowing anything from this season, which we don't know if they would appear or not, but they will be back. At least 2 more stories within the next 2 years. I'm saying. So.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Probably someone not by Moffat.
Yeah. Did any of you actually read the storyline for season 8? I just want to know, out of interest.
Did anybody read what?
The leaked stories. Just out of interest.
No. Well, I haven't.
Possibly. The scripts, possible. Yeah.
Like what the stories are, like what they are. If I could ask one question.
No, I can't reveal it.
No, if I can ask one question, I just want to know: is it going to be a great series? That's all.
I think that
it is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, I can't wait now. This made it even more exciting. That's all I needed to know.
And dark.
Oh, and I love dark, so that just sums it all up. That's what I can't wait.
The darkest
Doctor Who ever, yeah.
It's going to be the darkest. Really. Season.
Daniel, what do you think? Do you think it would be dark? Just get everyone involved.
It's going to be right up his alley, I think. I think Daniel's going to like this.
I love the dark.
Yeah, definitely.
Daniel likes that stuff.
Can I actually, why I've got you lot, I need
especially since Moffat mentioned Into Darkness.
Yeah, the darkness. We're going into darkness. What can I ask you a question? Because
You did that for Star Trek beginning.
yeah, I've been trying to do this for ages. Can anyone actually sum up the regeneration for me, please? Because I'm lost. I know he got a new set of regenerations, right? Because he said, oh, it started regeneration, just taking a bit longer. Then it starts absorbing.
In the 13th.
But then he just goes woof, and he just kind of appears. Now, is it because he took in and absorbed new regeneration that happens so fast? But why was the regeneration so quick?
It wasn't quick. It was actually long.
It was a different process, but he will have 11.
Yeah, it was a different process. He will have 11 they sent him after this. They sent him a brand new batch.
Yeah, like kind of.
It actually. And he already aged to that point, and it actually took him back a little bit to where he looked younger, which of course they did that for the audience and Clara and whatnot. But I'm just saying, like, then of course he switched quickly because I mean, it's all drama, isn't it? It's all drama. That's what they're doing. They're making the best. It's Christmas Day. You're watching the Doctor. It's about to turn into quality. So no, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, no, it makes perfect sense because this was different from the other ones because this was the first time it had been handed a new lease on life. Like, okay, by the way, like, oh, by the way, you're supposed to be out of bodies by now. And look how old he got. Yeah. He got old and gray and fugly.
So, like the first Doctor at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what happens. He's like they throw that energy at him, and even the Daleks are freaking out. Like, oh, the Doctors are generating, blah blah blah. And then he goes to his ship. He takes his time. He makes a couple of phone calls. And then, by the way,
I guess in a way you're right because if you think about it, he actually technically regenerated on the building. That was the regeneration, the way he blew up.
It was a longer process actually, and everybody thinks it was quick. It wasn't quick. It was actually longer because he got thrown that energy. Then he turned younger again, and that was for the sake of the audience and Clara, so they see oh, by the way, he looks just like he did
Yeah. Was it a tease? Was it a tease? Was it a tease more like for him to walk up the stairs and you think it's Capaldi?
No, the point was to reassure the audience that this is what we're going to see next season, is that it's the same guy, dude. It's the same guy. He's just got a different body now. And they're going to reassure us of that almost probably in every episode. But I mean, that's how it's always been, hasn't it? I mean, it's always been a drag when the Doctor leaves and changes into somebody else. I mean, it always has been, right? Nobody wanted Tennant to go. I mean, go for it, bro. No, go, Joe.
I think a new factor is going to be that Matt Smith was the Doctor for like 1,000 years. So what we're going to see now with Peter Capaldi is, it's going to, being that he's 2,000 years old, it's going to be very hard to remember his previous selves before Matt Smith. I mean, I just think that it's going to be really, really tough.
Well, we got to be careful here because we're skirting around stuff we've already seen. But it's going to be, I don't think so at all, dude. I think the Doctor is always the Doctor, and that's the thing. He's always part of one of those other guys that we used to see, whether it be 30 years ago or 40 years ago. He's always that same guy. And so that's why you see traces.
He may remember.
That's why you see, like,
take him a while.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's do you know?
I mean,
like, if I'll sum it up into one in probably a minute or two. This is just my outtake, right? He regenerates, but then he regenerates. Well, we thought he regenerated, but then Clara comes into the TARDIS. He walks up the stairs. Matt Smith reappears. I'm guessing that was for the audience. I'm guessing when he says any moment now the Doctor's coming, I'm guessing that was to reassure us that he's always the Doctor and he always will be the Doctor, if that makes sense. Like, and was that probably why the regeneration was so quick, not to like upset people more by him burning again and regenerating again, like.
It wasn't quick. That's the whole point. It was long. It was actually long.
He was.
Oh, it was
actually long because. Well, I mean, they threw that regeneration energy at him at the tower.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Wait 1 second. He did this twice. He held back the regeneration twice. The first one
Twice.
almost blew up the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
He held it back. When he was David Tennant, his body was trying to regenerate. He healed himself.
Yeah, he healed
held
himself.
it back
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Well, that was a
Matt
whole
Smith
different
was in massive.
though.
The 11th Doctor was in massive pain because he was holding
He
it back.
ate to death.
So
He
you could
ate
see
to
him.
death.
It's like any
Is
moment
that
now, it's
what
like
was
He
going
ate to
on?
death.
This is nuts.
He,
You're not
he,
making me
he
see it
lived
from
and
a.
died a
No, but he
long
was in
life.
pain because he was
Of course he
holding.
was. He
He
was
was
old as
holding back.
frick.
No, but when he was in the TARDIS talking to Clara.
Yeah.
No, but when he was in the TARDIS talking to Clara, he was trying to talk to her and hold it back so he can finish talking to her. And it was
Yeah.
massive pain to hold back regeneration. That's why when he was talking, you could hear him like like that.
Oh,
I mean, the whole
okay.
reason it was different was because this is a whole new life.
All right, Daniel.
Well,
Yeah, new site.
I can't. What? What was the
All right,
question?
No,
One
I
more
was
question.
just saying.
One more question for you. Yeah, Tim.
Well, I'm not sure what the question is. I'm not sure what to ask.
No, what I was saying was though
Okay,
that this is a whole new set
Mon-
of regeneration. A whole new set of regeneration. So that's why it was different this time. Just like Peter Davison said way back when, it feels different this time. He got poisoned and he turned into Colin Baker. I mean, this was way different than that because he'd already used up all his possible lives. He got given a new lease on life. That's why it was different this time, and that's why this regeneration is actually longer than the other ones. It's not that quick, actually. He held it back, like you said, Joe, and he held it back till he was in the TARDIS talking to Clara, and then all of a sudden, boom. So it seems quick, but he actually held it back. He was regenerated ever since he came from the top clock tower.
Oh, it's good, it's good to just know another opinion because when you're only here, like I'm only talking to my girlfriend about it, you just think one way, so it's good to have the other opinion that makes you see it in a different light, because I guess when you put it to me like that, it makes more sense, because he was on the tower, he was regenerating, he was like love from Gallifrey, he blew everything up, and the next thing he's in the TARDIS, he's changed his clothes, and you're thinking, well, I definitely thought it was Capaldi walking up them stairs. I really did, to be fair. I thought that was it. Like, and then the next thing he's there again. He's like, "Hello," and then you're like, "Oh no!" And then he was like, "It started." Yeah. So is that why? So that makes sense. So that makes sense why John Hurt actually regenerated normally then, because he was part of the normal cycle from before. You remember in the day?
I mean, even David Tennant held it back, though. The 10th Doctor held it back. Too.
No,
I mean, he went visiting for crying out loud.
It's just because I didn't actually know Matt Smith was holding it back. I just thought that when he got given the new regenerations, it made him young again for a little while, and then he was burning up. I didn't actually.
He was holding it back.
Jesus, yeah, that's a
David
good
Tennant
take.
held it back too so much that he held it back so long.
They blew up the TARDIS.
Just about.
Yeah.
Almost.
So,
it's like a faucet or a hose or something. If you hold it back, it starts shooting out.
Yeah. Wasn't it the radiation as well from the box? The radiation.
Yeah, that was cured. He was healed from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was healed from that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, guys. I have to go because I have to get some sleep. But Mongoo Jerry, it was a pleasure to meet you, and welcome to
And you guys. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Daniel, Tim. All right, bro. You're always welcome to be on the show. So let us know next time. I'll send you an invite.
All right.
All right.
Good night, bros.
Nice one, man. Thank you,
Good
man.
night, guys.
Take care, guys.
Joe. Joe.
Yeah, bro. Hold on one second. Daniel. Wait, Daniel.
Okay.
Wait, Daniel. It's not stopping. I don't know why. Hold on. It's not stopping. 1 second.